What's going on, guys? Crispy Flakes here. So I used to work with this girl named Tequila, okay? And Tequila had a son who was very good at basketball, okay? He was like in 7th grade, and I'm pretty sure they was going to put him on the varsity team. Why are people comparing Cade Cunningham to Jalen Brunson? That's like comparing a 7th grader to a super senior, bro. I just had to point that out. Just had to point that out, man, okay? Today we're checking out a video by a man who is definitely a carnivore. Loves ham. Cade Cunningham, to be exact. Alex Hoops. With a video titled, Cade Cunningham is sending the NBA a message. I swear, though, if we lose to the Cavs tonight, man, 0-2 since I've been back. Please, need the W, bro. Let's check it out, man. See what Cade Cunningham's been up to this season, bro, because it's been some miraculous things. But not an all-star starter either. I don't get that. People just, like, hate Detroit. You know, they just hate Detroit. Pisses me off. Detroit pisses me off.
Rookie season, the Pistons finished with a record of 23-59.
Yeah, he spent most of that season in the corner.
17 games and 14 games, respectively. This season, the Pistons have already made it to the 20-win mark, and at the time of this recording, they're playing above 500 basketball.
Yeah, I believe they're 6 right now, right?
Cunningham is performing at a level that has seemingly answered all of the questions that people had about him during the offseason. A lot of those questions centered around whether or not Cade Cunningham could be Detroit's primary building block and play at an all-star caliber level and be that franchise cornerstone. Considering how good he's been this year, averaging 24 points, nearly 7 rebounds, and nearly 10 assists, as well as high-level defensive impact, the question of can you build around Cade is seemingly being answered.
Yes, you can build around Cade. It's just like, you know, I'm not going to be biased here, okay? Like, I've been saying since his rookie season, his pace and style is like Paul Pierce. But you put him at that point guard spot, and you look at the pacing of maybe a Luka Doncic, right? Like I don't think Cade's ever going to be as good as Luka. I'm just saying that, right? You gotta be, you gotta draw the line somewhere. But I do think that Cade may have a better ability to play in a system than Luka does. Like, Luka is the system, just like James Harden was the system on the Rockets. Now, Cade Cunningham, it's like he has the ability to play off ball, but when the ball in his hands, a lot of great things are going to happen. I don't think hero ball leads to championships, but I do think there's a lot of room to put different type of players that are going to benefit playing off of Cade. The Steve Nash effect. And they've done a really good job of really retooling this prior offseason.
As NBA fans, we can be pretty impatient if a player doesn't meet expectations in a relatively...
Rookie expectations are crazy these days because of Luka.
If that player was drafted with a lottery pick, and even more so if that player was drafted number 1 overall. Regardless of if those expectations are even realistic or not, if you're not good fast, then you might as well not even be...
Bro, you gotta look like Luka Doncic, I ain't gonna lie.
Success is, of course, Cade's development as a player, but another big factor at play here is just him being surrounded by competent NBA players. We can really see this show.
Not Killian Hayes over Ivy. Monte.
In his rookie season, the Pistons ranked 29th in three-point percentage at an abysmal 32.6%. His second season, and worth noting here, he only played 12 games. The Pistons shot only 35.1%, ranking 22nd in the NBA. Last season, the cold shooting continued, clocking in at 26 in three-point shooting, converting only 34.8% of their threes. Fast forward to this season, and the Pistons are clocking the 12th best percentage in the NBA at the time.
Bro, I love Malik Beasley, bro. Fontecchio been a little bit of a letdown. Tobias, he's maybe a 4th option now on a championship team. The 3rd option on a championship team scenario didn't really go well, but Tobias is cool. They got some gunners around him now, man. Damn, like that Killian Hayes, bro. Last year, horrible.
36.7%.
What can one do?
This is important. Your primary creator needs spacing in order to be effective. In the past, Cade's been dealing with some of the worst spacing in the entire NBA, making it much more difficult to create good looks for himself.
Yep.
Now that he's surrounded by reliable shooters, the results really speak for themselves. I found a pretty mind-blowing stat when I was working on this video, and it has to do with something called potential assists, which is any pass that directly leads to a shot. Not only is Cade averaging the most potential assists per game of his career while recording a career high in assists, but the rate at which his teammates are converting on shots from his passes is the highest of his career.
That's amazing.
As well.
That is mind-blowing, actually.
Cade simply developing as a playmaker, but another part of it is the fact that he has better teammates to knock down those shots now.
And it's just a better build too. Like I'm all for having a Sar Thompson on the team. Ron Holland, just players like that have that athleticism. But I mean, it can't be the bulk of the roster. Like there's rooms for those types of players and they're needed. But damn, when you have Cade Cunningham, a top playmaker in the NBA, you just need to surround him with the proper system, guys. You need to. You can't just be like, okay, you play a beef stew ass shooting guard, and win a championship. It's just not going to work that way.
The result of this is defenses being less inclined to help off their man to sell out on Cade.
Tim Hardaway
not having to deal with as much defensive attention now, he's able to end up in situations where he's one-on-one against his defender, and we can see how much damage he's able to do as an off-the-dribble scorer. He's a very methodical player with a very deep bag, and although his raw foot speed isn't something that he really relies heavily on, he's really good at breaking down.
He got that Kawhi Leonard pacing.
And waiting for them to make a mistake so he can capitalize on it. And his footwork after picking up the ball on his drives is a major part of how he's able to create space.
That should look like Sam Cassell.
Particularly in the mid-range. There are a ton of areas where Cade has improved drastically, but arguably the most eye-catching part of this improvement has been in the three-point shooting department. And I want to get into all of this major improvement from Cade as a three-point
But man, yeah, Cade Cunningham initially in his career struggled with the three-point shot, but I think you have the potential, the potential assists. You also got the potential shot selection, and just there's look at that. It's a one-on-one situation. They got bitch ass Durant on him and everything, but I mean he can handle KD. KD is about a dinosaur now, So it's like just the fact that he has the ability to use his one-on-one, bag set and not have to worry about being quadruple teamed. It's all coming together, and I love it.
A quick word from today's sponsor, Raycon. It's a new year, and that means it's time for some New Year's resolutions. For some people, their resolution
I've gained 20 pounds, man. Let's get the man's code up, though. Oh yeah, let's a little wireless earbuds. I do have a pair of those. They're not Raycons. But let's get his man's sponsorship link if you guys are looking for some nice headsets. Go to buyraycon.com/AlexHoops to get 50% off site wide, bro. I mean, if you have 3 ears and you need one right there too, you're good to go, man. It's site wide. Go get the man a bag.
To get 15% off everything site-wide. That's right, you'll get 15% off everything on Raycon's website when you go to buyraycon.
I thought Raycons were sunglasses.
Huge thanks again to Raycon for sponsoring today's video. Let's get back to it. Now, when it comes to talking about Cade Cunningham's three-point shooting, there's the obvious stuff in the box score that's going to stick out. His three-point volume is the highest it's ever been, and he's not
as it should be
down at the best rate of his career. But it's not just about the fact that he's a good three-point shooter now. I think it's really important to understand the implications that his three-point evolution has. It's how he's getting those threes, because that's where things have gone from, oh, this guy's knocking down threes at a higher rate, to now being this player's three-point shooting.
I gotta go back real quick here, man, because that's literally that shot is a prime example, bro. Imagine that right there, man. That's Fontecchio. Imagine that being Killian Hayes.
That's where things have gone from.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that, like Hero would just be like, bye, Felicia, you know what I'm saying? And be like away from Fontecchio or Killian.
Guys knocking down threes at a higher rate, to now being this player's three-point shooting ability is forcing defenses to game plan for him entirely differently. A lot of his success is coming off of screens in the pick and roll. If there's not a navigator running him off the line into the screener defender,
he needs Dirk Nowitzki.
He's going to take that space and pull up from three without any
be amazing.
problem. And this prompts opposing teams to have to use significantly more aggressive defensive coverages against him to prevent him from getting easy looks from the perimeter. But there's a big problem with this. When you sell out on a player to prevent them from getting what they want on the perimeter, you surrender a numbers advantage because you have 2 on the ball and only 3 defenders for the 4 other players on the floor. In the past, you could
That used to
argue
be
that Cade didn't really have the necessary personnel alongside him
Killing
to really be
Days.
able to capitalize on these numbers advantages when he would pretty rarely see these aggressive coverages. Now he has competent players that he can either feed on the short roll to collapse the defense to hit a corner shooter, or when the defense
And let
helps
me
him
just
off.
point out real quick here too, Beef Stew, man, like you have really just, you were pissing me off for about a season or two, but you've really come into your own, and you've really focused more on the way that you need to be playing basketball. No more of them flat-footed threes, man. Like occasionally, shoot your shot, it's fine, but that right there, that's how I've been always wanting Beef to play, bro. He got group size biceps, man. Ain't nobody stopping that.
Off the corners, he can hit the shooters to turn the advantage into points. If you double him off a pick and
That's
roll,
my favorite player,
he's
man,
gonna punish
Malik.
you by making that feed to the roller. But if you don't send that
And Cade.
extra defensive attention on him, then he's gonna find a way to create his own shot from three, and he's hitting them at a rate that most teams just aren't really willing to let him have those shots. Of the 23 players in the
Love
NBA
Kuzma.
right now that are attempting at least 4 pull-up three
Top 10 pull-up three-point shooters, bro. Man, he's learned from Chauncey Billups, man. Jordan Poole. I played Marvel Rivals with Jordan Poole the other day. He used Iron Man, went 22-0. It was amazing. Zach LaVine. I didn't even know LaVine was still playing, bro. I thought I'd been on the trade block for a while. Ant-Man, Paolo, Steph, Mitchell, Tyler, Cam, Cade, Damian. Yeah, that's some good company to be with. And Cam Thomas.
pointers per game. He's hitting them at the 9th highest rate, coming in at 37.5%. This means that defenses are punished heavily for trying to utilize drop coverage against him. When he shakes his defender on a screen, once he sees that big standing 2 or 3 steps below that three-point line, he's doing everything in his power to get into some space on the perimeter to get an open look. Not only is he having a
Jump shot been looking better too. More arc on
he's
it.
also being assisted on his threes at the lowest rate of his career. And this means that he's doing a lot of that creation by himself. His scoring ability isn't just predicated on his three-point shooting, though. He's consistently developed that mid-range game a little bit. And also has some decent post-scoring ability.
Same I am.
He uses that to manipulate defenses, able to bait them into sending an extra defender to provide help. And the second that double comes, he's looking to hit the open man wherever they are on the
Let's get it, man.
Now, this offensive evolution
Love this team.
is great, but I think this chart really puts into perspective just how rapidly he's improving. It's hard to wrap your head around the fact that he's only 23 years old.
And that's the thing that Jalen Brunson fans need to sit down about, bro. Like, I'm telling you, man, like, I like Jalen Brunson. I would probably say that Jalen Brunson is my favorite non-Detroit Piston in the NBA. But quit comparing him to Cade, okay? Like, be happy with what you got, man. Like, why are you comparing him to a 23-year-old? That is just weird, It's just weird, man. I don't get it. But Brunson's great, bro. But once upon a time, man, he was meant to come to Detroit, be the second option.
Seeing pretty rapid development over the course of his last 100 games. If this is where he's at right now, it's really hard to imagine that he's not going to continue on a similar trajectory.
That's some athleticism these days, too, bro. Doing his ab workouts.
Be surprised at all? Or were these signs that he was going to be able to do this always there? Looking at previous years, he never had a supporting cast of serviceable NBA players. And I'm not talking about being surrounded by an elite supporting cast. He's never even had just good players to play off of. And now that he does, it's no surprise that he's having significantly more success. Should the fact that the Pistons are 20-19, one game over 500, really be celebrated? Rewinding back to the beginning of the video.
Yes, it should be celebrated, man. Oh my God, it's been the Great Depression, bro. Since I've been about 15 years old, man. Yeah, it definitely needs to be celebrated. Just any sort of winning culture, and for Detroit basketball is a good thing. NBA's better when the Pistons are good, man. And I'm in a better mood too, bro. Okay, the alcohol prices have gone down. No denying that there. But I'm just happy with how things are going. It's nice to be here on camera, and not having to dance with my shirt off, bro, and being sad that Luke Kennard was traded. Now it's just good, competent basketball, and I love it, man. And I don't know. I feel like I should have been hired as a GM years ago, because I literally said, people would get mad when I would talk about trading Ivy, okay? And it wasn't against Ivy. It was against the, general manager's ability to put together a roster that made sense around Cade. Man, it's like Ivy, Asar, all those dudes are good, but you also need Malik Beasley. So you need your Tim Hardaways. So, the signs have always been there. And I think most Pistons fans has probably seen that. But it was just some bitch ass coaching and just roster development and some really stupid things, thinking that a dang freaking 20-year-old was going to come to the NBA and just be the guy right away.
The Pistons had only consistently gotten worse over time since drafting Cade. When you put it into the framework that they've already won more games this year than both of the last 2 seasons, then you realize that this is a massive step forward. Not to mention, they're still
Monty just wanted to get
for a
fired.
playoff spot in the Eastern Conference. Cade is playing at a genuinely all-star level, and we're seeing what he can do. Not only when he has a good
He is better
team
than
around
Trae
him,
Young.
but now that he's had time to get healthy and develop some of the other parts of his game. When it comes to young players, context is key. Were Cade's early struggles as a player his fault, or were they a byproduct of bad coaching, bad management,
Yes.
and a lack of supporting personnel?
That last part.
It's difficult to answer that question with a degree of certainty, but what's important is that he's doing what he's doing now, and it definitely seems like he's benefiting from having guys.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Like, I do understand that if you're a dominant college player or overseas player before going in the NBA, like, there's no guarantees that's going to translate. Like, there does come a point where you do have to really adjust your style of play. And, I mean, even just coming in as a rookie point guard, like, that is the toughest. Well, he played shooting guard quite a bit too in his rookie season, but that is like the toughest position to come into. Just the tempo is completely different. Like you no longer got a 35-second shot. Like you got 24 seconds to get it done, man. You got everybody's cream of the crop talent, athletically wise and just skill wise, right, man? It's the best of the best. So he had everything working against him, and he had every reason, to pull an Anthony Bennett and just not care anymore, man. Pull a Ben Simmons and be like, screw basketball, bro. Let's go play some Call of Duty. You know what I'm saying, man? But he hasn't done that, and he is stuck with it. He hasn't complained. He hasn't been like, I want to go somewhere else. Like, he has taken on this challenge, and it's just a great video by Alex Hoops, man. He's a great, content creator. Does a great job breaking down film and, man, just players and what's going on in the league on a day-to-day basis. Go check out his channel. Thank you all so much for watching. Peace out, my friends.